49ers Rams coming your way on Monday Night Football in an absolutely pivotal game for San Francisco. They cannot fall to 1-3 in the first month of the year, and if they do, the drama going to continue to pick up, and it is not going to be good times in the Bay Area. So coming your way on today's show, keys for how San Francisco can win, and a Niners-Rams preview in what has become one of the best rivalries in the National Football League. Before we start breaking this game down and going into our preview, who you got on Monday? Of course, we'll be doing a watch party for it. SF for the Niners, LAR for the defending Super Bowl champions. Let me know who you're going with right now in the comment section. The betting odds, somewhat interesting. Now, oftentimes today, in the NFL, home teams are 3-point favorites. Niners not even getting that. So not a lot of respect coming from the odds makers, even though Kyle Shanahan has had a lot of recent success against Sean McVay, who used to work under him at the time for the Washington Redskins. The Niners, though, 2.5-point favorites, and the over-under, once again, pretty low at 42. As for what the Rams have been able to do so far, they are 2-1 on the year with back-to-back victories. Week 1, they were not good at all against the Buffalo Bills. They got thumped in that game, and Matthew Stafford wasn't good. They survived after building up an early lead against the Atlanta Falcons in Week 2, coming out with that one, edging Atlanta 31-27. And then in Week 3, against a Cardinals team that I don't think is going to be very good this year. I think Cliff Kingsbury should be on the hot seat. They're able to win, and they were in control of that game, but I think that's more of a byproduct of the Arizona Cardinals not being good. And the Rams, of course, are going to be solid. They have dogs offensively. They have dogs on the defensive side of the ball, led by one of the greatest defensive players that we've seen of all time in Aaron Donald, but they haven't really been that elite up to this point. So the Rams right now 2-1. As for what San Francisco has done, they are 1-2 on the year. And what's wild about the Niners is that I believe they have been the better team in all 3 of these games. They outplayed the Chicago Bears, but lost. They dominated the Seattle Seahawks and won that game running away 27-7. They were so much better than the Denver Broncos, yet still fell. So better team in all 3 games, yet they have 1 win to show for it, and right now they're behind the 8 ball. The bright spot for the Niners going up against a quality Rams team is that they match up well against Los Angeles, and Kyle Shanahan has oftentimes gotten the best out of Sean McVay. Of course, when it mattered in the NFC Championship game, the Niners blew that fourth quarter lead, but Shanahan has won 6 of 7 against McVay, including that loss in the NFC title game, and McVay is 4-7 all time against Kyle Shanahan, his former boss. And really, what this game comes down to for me, the offense for the Niners just has to be better. They have to take monumental strides forward. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo didn't want to take the blame for the Niners losing this football game. He should have. He made the point of him not playing a lot of football throughout training camp, not playing at all in the preseason, only having 1 week of preparation with the first-string offense, but he has to be better with his decision-making. And Trace, if you could pop me up here, that'd be awesome so that I can kind of break down some of these all-22 pictures. Now, we did talk about this on Monday's show, but when I say that Garoppolo has to be better, Shanahan has to be better too, right? But Garoppolo, given the fact that he's been in this offense for 5 years, he's won 71% of his starts, he's played in 2 NFC title games and a Super Bowl. If you have this much experience, I don't want to hear you not getting a lot of reps with your teammates as the excuse, because this right here is inexcusable. You have a clean pocket, and Deebo Samuel is just wide open on the outside of the field. He has his arm up, and Jimmy Garoppolo is looking to the left. He's not even looking in the direction of Deebo Samuel. You hit him here, even with the bad throw, he's taking it to the house because you see how far away that safety is. And then later in the game, Garoppolo completed this pass trace, if we can move forward, but he underthrew Deebo Samuel. Once again, it's a clean pocket for Jimmy G. And Deebo Samuel is absolutely wide open here. You hit him in stride. The safety here is not going to be able to catch up with Deebo, and even if he does, if Deebo catches that in stride and doesn't have to slow down for it and basically go down to the ground to catch it, he can make a man miss, and we're talking here about 2 explosive plays and potentially 14 points that you put on the board, and you lost this game by a score of 11-10. And then let's get to some more all-22 clips here for Garoppolo, and Trace, you could put me up on the screen once more. This is the interception that happened at a time that it just can't happen from Jimmy Garoppolo. About 2 minutes left in this game. You're down 11-10. You're just shy of midfield. You have one of the most clutch kickers in the game in Robbie Gould on your sideline. All you have to do is pick up some positive yards. And remember when Garoppolo was hitting Jawan Jennings? Remember when he hit Kyle Juszczyk with the toe drag swag? That's the good, but he's so dumbfounding because of how bad he is. Garoppolo, clean pocket here, with the exception of this blitzer, which I understand. But you're throwing this ball here with 3 defenders in this general area. And Deebo Samuel clearly is double-teamed. You cannot, and I mean you cannot, make this throw. So again, this is Garoppolo having to be better here, especially in a crucial spot. This ball ended up getting picked. And then before this is a play that also can't happen, and you have to clean up against the Los Angeles Rams. Yes, Jimmy Garoppolo did get hit here, and he was hit often in this game as compared to Seattle. But look at how wide open Deebo Samuel is here, and look at all of the space that he has to run with and all of the real estate out in front of him if you lead him around the seam here with this ball. Instead, Garoppolo throws it so far behind Deebo Samuel that it clunked off of the defender's head, went up in the air, and it was another dangerous throw that could have been intercepted. Garoppolo completes 3 of these easy passes, 3 of these easy reads. That's potentially 21 points on the board for San Francisco. So yes, Kyle Shanahan called a dog shit game. The fact that he called play action on the 2-yard line on the Jimmy Garoppolo safety, even though Garoppolo should have had better field awareness, boggled my mind, and Shanahan has to be better. He admitted that. But Garoppolo didn't take any admissions for his poor play against Denver, and he missed all of these throws that were all blatant against Denver on Sunday night. And it's going to be even harder. He got pressured a lot against Denver, and this Rams defensive line is also going to be able to generate a pass rush, especially when Trent Williams is going to be out for the next 4 to 8 weeks with that high ankle sprain. Going to be a huge deal in the pass game as well as the run game, as Trent Williams is once again putting together a masterful season, and he's protecting Jimmy Garoppolo's blind side. Now, I do think that the Niners match up well with Los Angeles. They always do. The Rams like to spread it out and play more of a finesse style of football, even though they really got after Joe Burrow in the trenches in the Super Bowl, whereas San Francisco, they don't shy away from punching him in the mouth. But you cannot turn the football over. And turnovers have killed the Niners in their 2 losses this year. The Deebo Samuel fumble in the red zone after you were matriculating downfield, and then 3 turnovers against the Denver Broncos. It just can't happen. When you turn the rock over, you lose about 80% of games in the NFL. So if you turn the rock over against a quality team, the Rams will beat you. Speaking of the Rams and all teams in this loaded division in the NFC West, I want to see where the faithful is at here. What's your least favorite team inside this division? A lot of people are going to say the Seahawks here, and I'm there with you. Type SEA if that's the case. LAR for the Los Angeles Rams, or ARI for the Arizona Cardinals. Let me know right now in the comment section. And after this Rams game, once our watch party concludes, we're going to stay live on YouTube, but also we're going to go live on call-in. It's like Twitter Spaces, but even better, you have an opportunity to call into the show. So please download the app so that you can be a part of the conversation as well on Sunday Night Football. So many fabulous calls coming in from everybody where we could just vent our frustrations and really have a therapy session together. Download the app. It's available in the comment section and the description of this video, and join us for our post-game call-in show. And if you've been joining us on call-in, type real one in the comment section because we greatly appreciate all of your support and you're all real ones out there. More keys to the game against Los Angeles for San Francisco. We know that everything with Sean McVay's offense starts and ends with Matthew Stafford as well as Cooper Kupp. But that tandem and this Rams offense really as a whole, they've been really only just okay through 3 games of the season. Hopefully, they don't decide to unleash against statistically the best defense in the NFL. And the Niners defense will give this team an opportunity basically every single week to be victorious. That's why it's a shame that they're not doing them any favors, because they're surrendering just 12 points per game, and the Niners have a grand total of 1 win. They're 4th in rushing yards allowed per game, 1st in passing yards per game. In today's pass-happy NFL, that's fantastic, and 2nd in total yards per game. Again, in today's NFL, where all of the rules cater to offenses, the Niners are surrendering 227 total yards of offense per game. D'Amico Ryans, you're a stud. As for where the Rams are offensively with their rankings, I told you, statistically, they've been a mediocre, average to bad football team. 25th in yards per game, 17th in passing yards per game, rush yards per game at 30th because they can't find a back. They don't like Cam Akers. They don't like Darrell Henderson, and I haven't really been impressed by Henderson. I like Cam Akers, but he costs the football up a lot. And then 15th in points per game. As for Matthew Stafford, what he's been able to do this year, he's already thrown for 761 yards because that's what Stafford does. He is among the leaders in completion percentage this year, but he's only thrown 4 touchdowns to 5 picks. His right-hand man, though, is Cooper Kupp, who once again having a big year after he set records last year. 28 grabs in 3 games, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a long of 28. As for a player who really hasn't shown up for this offense and a really big offseason acquisition, it's Allen Robinson. He has not shown up in the first 3 games of the year. And with his absence, another player who is in that Cooper Kupp type of mold, I'm not saying that because they're both white guys, but they do play similarly, Ben Skowronek has emerged as a nice little threat for Matthew Stafford. The point here is that you can't lose track of Allen Robinson because they're trying to get him involved. You can't lose track of a guy like Ben Skowronek because we know that Sean McVay can really draw up plays to free up some open guys. And then we shift over to the Rams' defensive side of the football. Aaron Donald, he was flirting with retirement because he wanted a new contract. He can ball. He's dominant. He can take over a game. Shoot, he frankly won it for the Rams in the Super Bowl with the constant barrage of sacks against Joe Burrow. And then Jalen Ramsey on the outside. Him and Deebo Samuel have a nice little rivalry going on, and Deebo, he's been able to win it oftentimes. But Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, very good players on that defense, and obviously they added Bobby Wagner this offseason as well. So before we end our segment preview here, predict the score. San Francisco 49ers, Los Angeles Rams. Let's all come together, okay? Let's just put the good vibes out there. And let's hope that San Francisco can win this football game so that we don't have to talk about Kyle Shanahan getting fired or all this Jimmy G drama. I want to talk about a winning effort for San Francisco. Let's go 27-24. Niners. Let's ride.